If the proof you're waiting for never arrives, will you keep postponing your life? Or will you test a law older than your fear? Be honest. How many times have you asked the world to change before you would allow yourself to? You refresh the screen, you count the signs, you consult everyone but the one person who can move the needle, yourself. For the next 2 minutes, do something radical and very traditional. Turn inward and measure only what you can actually govern. Breathe slower than your doubts. Ask, who am I when I stop negotiating with circumstances and start deciding from conviction? Hold that answer not as a hope, but as a state. Feel how your shoulders drop when you stop chasing them, start inhabiting the result. Now, before the old habit talks you out of it, take one ordinary step that naturally flows from that state. Send the message you'd send if you knew you were chosen. Tidy the space you'd keep if you knew abundance was routine. Speak the truth you'd speak if you knew respect was your baseline. Notice the gear shift. Effort turns from strain into expression. This is not performance, it is alignment. If the outer world is only a report of the inner, why argue with the report? Change the author. That author is you. Ladies and gentlemen, our focus today is simple. Focus on you, not the noisy, grasping self that begs for validation, but the steady self that knows. People come and go. That is the weather of life. Your task is climate, not weather. The climate is your inner state and it sets the season for everything else. You are not a name badge and a nervous system. You are awareness itself, the quiet I am, in which all your roles appear and disappear. When you attend to that center, you are not becoming selfish, you are becoming responsible. From that center flows your conduct, your choices, your tone, your results. In practice, this means you stop treating imagination like a toy and treat it like the workshop where tomorrow is cut to size. See yourself as you intend to be, not as you have been told you are. Enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not as a pleasant daydream, but as a settled posture. If confidence were already yours, how would you stand? If reconciliation were done, what would relief feel like in your chest? If provision were normal, how would you open the bill? How would you speak about next month? The body is honest. Let it teach the mind. Do not expect applause at the start. Expect resistance from habit, from memory, from well-meaning people who only know your yesterday. Persist anyway. Remember Jericho, 6 quiet days, nothing to show for it. The 7th, everything moves. Your Jericho is not a wall in the world, but a wall in the mind, a concept of self that has outlived its usefulness. Walk around it daily with the feeling tone of completion, not with complaints about the bricks. Walls built by assumption fall by assumption. People come and go is not a threat. It is a mercy. As you change state, the cast changes. Some will drift because your new station no longer receives their signal. Others will appear because they have always been tuned to the frequency you finally claimed. Do not mourn the old station. You did not betray it, you outgrew it. Relationships are mirrors. To alter the reflection, you do not polish the glass. You light the room within. If you desire loyalty, embody steadiness. If you desire respect, practice self-respect in private. If you desire love, make loving your native speech, not a negotiation. Skeptical? Good. Be skeptical of the superstition that circumstances are cause. The outer is a delayed echo of the inner. That is why chasing outcomes feels like running after your shadow at noon. Turn toward the light instead. Revise what needs cleaning. The slight you replay, the interview you flubbed, the argument you keep winning in the shower. In the evening, rub out the old scene and replace it with the one that belongs in the life you are building. You are not lying to yourself. You are training your memory to serve your future instead of your fears. Action matters, but it matters most when it flows from state. Forced action is a loud engine with no traction. Inspired action is quiet and carries weight. You will still send proposals, Still practice, still rise early. The difference is motive. You are no longer proving you deserve to be here. You are expressing that you do. That one change in motive removes the grit from the gears. Guard your inputs. Soil determines harvest. Curate your room, your feed, your counsel. Pray or sit in honest silence each day, 5 minutes if that is all you can stand. Read what tests your mind, not what flatters your laziness. Keep company with people who love you enough to hold you to your word. Gratitude is not saccharine, it is accuracy. Note what is working. Note what you survived. Note the small beginnings that used to be big prayers. When doubt spikes, do not dramatize it. Doubt is withdrawal symptoms from an old identity. Breathe, return to state. Ask, if it were already done, what would be my next small, unfancy move? Then make that move and leave the timeline alone. Seeds do not sprout because you stare at the soil. They sprout because you keep the conditions right. Your only job is conditions, assumption, feeling, consistency. The bridge of incidents will appear on its own schedule, a chance remark, an email, a delay that becomes deliverance. You could not have plotted it. That is the point. This is traditional religion's Sabbath in practical clothes. You do the inner work. Then you rest from the compulsion to force outcomes. Rest is not passivity. It is authority without panic. Say thank you before the package arrives, not to bribe God but to agree with order. The naturalness of having is the real magnet. Make fulfillment ordinary in your nervous system and the world will stop arguing. You will fail some days. Good. Learn quickly. Revise the stumble. Re-enter the state. Keep your promises to yourself so your word carries weight in your own ears again. Discipline is not punishment. It is proof you mean what you say. Tie it to a short, repeatable list. Morning state setting. One needle-moving task. One act of stewardship. Money, health, craft. One honest rest. Track inputs. Let outputs arrive when they're ready. As for free will, concern yourself with yours. You are not here to manipulate others. You are here to govern your state. When you do, life assigns roles accordingly. Even old antagonists can become unlikely helpers when your assumption changes. And if they do not, your peace is no longer rented to their behavior. Test all this. Don't take it on my authority. Tonight, in that drowsy edge of sleep, enter a short scene that would be true if your desire were already fact. Feel it, then release it. Tomorrow, act from it. Speak from it. Decline what contradicts it. Keep faith boring, quiet, steady, cumulative. In a month, audit the fruit. In a year, you will not recognize the field. People will still come and go. Let them. You will remain rooted, sane, productive, because your climate is set. The weather can do what weather does. The branch that abides does not fear the wind,